A watch stopped at 8:15 in the morning was found in Hiroshima, August 1945. Jean Libera, also known as the double-bodied man, had his parasitic brother Jacques Libera connected to him from his chest-stomach area. An SS officer is frolicking in a field of daffodils. This happened during World War II. Parisians are navigating floodwaters by walking across rows of chairs in 1924. Melba was hotter than the weather. On May 21, 1945, Colonel Byrd, commandant of Belsen Camp, gave the order for the last hut at Belsen concentration camp to be burned. Albert Einstein and his wife Elsa were with Charlie Chaplin at the premiere of his film City Lights. It was held at the Los Angeles Theatre in LA in 1931. Motorola Remote Control 1956. During the war, Princess Elizabeth served her country as a mechanic. Tribal representative George Gillette is crying as 154,000 acres of land is signed away for a new dam in North Dakota in 1948. Children showing the blatant class divide of pre-war Britain in 1937. The early 1900s saw women wearing bathing suits that covered a lot more than they do now. They typically included a long top that went down to the knees, sometimes even longer. Underneath, they wore bloomers or similar pants. Many suits also had sleeves, and hats were also a common accessory. The fabrics were heavy, like wool or flannel, which would get quite heavy when wet. The expiration date has passed. Billy, the elephant at the Los Angeles Zoo, was shot. Old elephants can become uncontrollable, and the zoo staff decided to protect themselves. 1939. Muhammad Ali walks from the courtroom after being sentenced to 5 years as a conscientious objector to the war in Vietnam in 1967. The Statue of Liberty during the early stages of its construction in France in 1882. The Balalaika Player, a French photomontage of Adolf Hitler from 1939. Barefoot biking in the late 60s. Jackie Cheeseman is riding the wing of a Tiger Moth biplane at Wycombe Air Park in Buckinghamshire, England. It was 1968. Butcher's Boy, 1975. In Arviat, Nunavut, which is in northern Canada, in 1949, an Inuit girl is going down into her ice igloo house. gas and electric workers on Broad Street, Boston, Massachusetts, around 1920. Eric Robot with its inventor, 1928. Alright, so we're talking about old IBM 1401 computers, and they've got those big screens. This was all the rage back in 1960. Rocky Dennis and his mother. Captain Robert Scott's expedition to the South Pole. There's a gramophone and Chris the dog. September 1911. Frida Kahlo and Leon Trotsky, 1937. There's a Brazilian girl refusing to shake hands with military dictator Juan Figueiredo. This happened in 1979. In 1953, the Academy Awards were televised for the very first time. Here's a picture that shows how that looked behind the scenes. Harold Whittles was a 5-year-old boy. He had never heard sound before. In 1974, doctors put a hearing aid in his left ear. After a few moments, Harold began to cry. He was hearing sound for the first time. Boys will be boys. A man, possibly William B. Greene, is standing with a model of a machine. It seems designed to scoop up sand or gravel. This was sometime in the 1910s. A hungry woman Sunland Asylum, Dr. Freeman, the quack who invented lobotomies. The procedure turned most problem patients into zombies. War-orphaned Vietnamese babies are flown to LAX on April 12, 1975. March 1940. A cowhand is trying out a saddle at a saddlery in Elko, Nevada. Cheryl Brown, the first African-American contestant for the title of Miss America in 1971. It was the train crash at Montparnasse station in France in 1895. A Polish policeman wearing full assault gear in 1934. There are 3 girls wearing masked costumes at Halloween festivities in College Hill, Cincinnati, Ohio in 1929. A policeman from Germany, 1926. A Union soldier decided to show how big the weapon was by climbing inside it during the Civil War. The Icelandic Revolt, the General Strike of 1926. A man is feeding Pete the squirrel outside the White House in 1922. President John F. Kennedy, after beginning his presidency with a speech that declared, "The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans," celebrated with his wife Jacqueline at his inaugural ball. Ella Harper. People called her the Camel Girl. She was a freak show star in the late 19th century. Billingsgate Fish Market, London, 1950s. A United States helicopter pilot runs from his aircraft after Vietnamese forces shoot it down in early 1965. Slave trade, that's a tough one to pick an era. Martin Luther King Jr. addresses the crowd from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington in 1963. Edward Llewellyn catches the world's biggest black sea bass, weighing in at 425 pounds. He brings it home by himself in 1903. Calamity Jane in the 1880s. Victorian trick cyclists are performing a balancing act. This happened in 1891. It was a chaotic scene after the attempted assassination of President Reagan, 1981. Trapeze artist Miss Mara hitting an arm workout in 1958. Cheyenne Dog Soldier, Black Wolf, 1921. Folks are sleeping in hammocks tied to the subway tracks. This is during the Blitz in London in the 1940s. They're taking shelter there. Actress Jean Harlow is posing with boxer Primo Carnera in 1933. Giusto Cerruti, the Piedmontese runner, was in the Tour de France in 1928. A Bicycle Club, 1885. During the Christmas retail season, a young white boy kisses a black Santa Claus on the cheek in an unidentified department store, 1970. Harriet Tubman, far left, with rescued slaves in New York around 1887. Jumping Girl, 1959. Kids are playing with the photographer, showing the innocence of childhood. 1969. Properly equipped bike, check. All the neighborhood girls to show off to, check. Close adult supervision, check. Knowing life doesn't get any better than this. Priceless. The result of firefighting in extreme winter conditions, the remains of the Eureka Building in Chicago, 1920. A Chinese car driver, convicted for speeding, had to wear the traditional cangi. That's a wooden board weighing as much as 30 pounds. It was used for punishment throughout East Asia until the 1900s. He had to wear it for 24 hours. A street lunch vendor in Washington, D.C., 1919. Alice Roosevelt, who was 18 years old, and her long-haired chihuahua named Leo in 1902. A Highland New Guinean's reaction to seeing a white person for the first time in his life in 1930. Before this, they thought they were the only living people in the world. Charlie Chaplin is holding a doll version of his film character in 1918. The world's longest manned flight was 64 days, 22 hours, and 19 minutes in this Cessna 172. During that time, it was refueled over 128 times by the pictured truck. 1958. The photo was taken to promote the 1956 American science fiction film Forbidden Planet. It shows actress Anne Francis and the robot Robbie. Whipping a lawbreaker in the year 1900. A librarian at the National Library in Calcutta is dividing books between the two countries. This happened after the partition of India and Pakistan in 1947. It's 1935 and life is tough in the Texas Dust Bowl. A dust storm is about to swallow everything. Three girls are reacting to a couple's kiss at a wedding in 1960. Coffee was served by a Unimate robot in 1967. Fighting fit, baby boys given tiny boxing gloves in a makeshift boxing ring. It's cleaning day at a church in Leipzig, Germany, back in 1920. Let's talk about fun before the internet back in the 1960s. Italian traveller Attilio Gatti is with 2 hired pygmies and a gorilla. They caught it in the Belgian Congo in 1930. Folks are sleeping on the crowded platform of Elephant and Castle tube station. They're taking shelter from German air raids during the London Blitz. Dad's showing off his skill, much to the surprise of his little daughter. This happened in Melbourne, Australia, around the 1940s. A huge crowd in Mare Street, Hackney, London, watches firemen putting out a blaze at the premises of Messrs Polikoff Limited. The year was around 1930. Jackie Kennedy tenderly kisses the casket of John F. Kennedy in the Capitol Rotunda, November 24, 1963. Josephine Myrtle Corbin from Texas, 1868 to 1928, was the world's only 4-legged woman. Charlie Chaplin in the film New Times, 1936. Alexander Graham Bell on the right, and his assistants are observing testing one of his tetrahedral kites. This was in 1908. The first picture of Earth from the Moon, taken in 1966 by Lunar Orbiter 1. President Gerald Ford with his Golden Retriever Liberty, 1974. There are 3 athletes competing in the marathon during the first modern Olympic Games in Athens, 1896. Salvador Dali embracing the weirdness we have all felt at one time or another, 1904. Ostrich is reading the caretaker's newspaper. It's 1951. The boy received care from the soldiers during World War II. A motorcycle unit of the New York National Guard around 1917. Chong the Chinese Giant around 1870. These women, they're at a vocational school in Florida. They're learning to work, to support the war effort in the 1940s. Muhammad Ali taunts Joe Frazier, 1971. Tuberculosis patients in a sanatorium, Colorado, around 1920 to 1940. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, health officials believed that tuberculosis could be cured with sunshine and fresh air. Alright, so the first Miss France was in 1920. Times Square, 1955. On February 28, 1931, at Cowdray Park, Midhurst, Sussex, someone is handing around a stirrup cup at a hunt meet. It's part of the coming-of-age festivities for Lord Cowdray's heir. Adolf Hitler in Lederhosen. Two police officers are arresting a robbery suspect. The suspect tried to escape via a fire escape on December 19, 1964. An Autopolo automobile crash around 1910. (1919). This is an Amos Keg steam-powered fire engine from the Boston Fire Department. It dates from around 1919. The steamer weighed 17,000 pounds and was capable of discharging 1,350 gallons per minute. The Obistea 30,517, a huge Italian howitzer, one of less than 50 produced during the war in 1917. German World War II prisoners of war are harvesting grapes for the Widmer Winery in Naples, New York. Every state housed prisoners, but most camps were built in warm weather climates to save on barracks heating costs. A coal miner is waiting to get into the communal shower at the end of his shift. This was taken in Gelsenkirchen, Germany in 1958. Barbara Ferris, who by day delivers the milk and the eggs and helps out in the family shop in the evening, becomes Barbara the ballerina around the 1950s.